So hello, me again. And last time you'll have to listen to me speak about Nature's Own. So anyway, we've kind of gone through the journey from development of the insight and why we need to develop advertising. Actually, if you recall, um, number one bread brand in the country has the number one white bread. Butter bread has number one what we call wheat bread and honey wheat. Um, but it was kind of an interesting brand for the number one brand. We had North Carolina where 7 out of 10 households bought us, but we had areas like New York where only 15% of households bought it. So strong brand, a lot of opportunity for growth. Knew we need to do something, especially from an advertising perspective. Um, Took you through the journey on insights, understanding the brand, understanding what its differentiation was versus um, competition, and have shown you some of the ads that we created and the testing we did to get there. But the question is, what next? What's going on right now? Well, first and foremost, how has all that been working? And here's the good news. Through companies like IRI and Nielsen, we can actually measure what percent of households buy our products. And from Nature's Own perspective, the number of households that buy us has gone up from 32% to 36%. So getting a substantial bump in the number of people that are buying us. Following that, we've had increases in unit sales. Like everyone else, we've been taking price increases. So extra units plus price increases, the dollar sales of the brand and share have grown tremendously. Sales are up around 15%. So strong performance for the brand. It's doing really well in the Northeast and California where we're doing advertising. Um, but there's a but, there's a big however. And the however is if I look regionally, the areas that we used to be strong, we're starting to soften. So you put all your emphasis in certain areas, and then your competitors kind of chip away where you're strong, and we're seeing kind of share losses. And what used to be our stronghold, the South, the Mid South, South Central. So uh, big opportunity to fortify the brand in those markets. So good news is, and I've mentioned before, we do market mix modeling. Well, what we've learned from the market mix modeling is when you're in California, the Northeast, you're in some of the most expensive markets in the country. So the increase in spend going from those markets to doing fully national advertising for the brand is only around an additional $15 million. Again, thanks to the marketing mix model. And I know my ROI delivered by my advertising goes from about 60 cents to close to a dollar. So financially, spending more is actually incredibly affordable because I'm going to get more for it. The other thing we know through market mix modeling is we plug in what we think based on historical learning, what the new media plan will generate, and it's about 4% more in just unit sales. So you add on to those unit sales, price increases are going on. It means we should be able to continue that kind of double-digit growth in sales. So kind of excited for the brand, the journey we've taken you on. We've taken the company on the exact same journey, and they're taking that leap from we're doing advertising in kind of select markets to now we're going to become a nationally advertised player, which is really good. Next question is, well, what does that mean for the Fairy Tales campaign? Well, it will continue. Out recently, Little Red Riding Hood, you see it on the bottom of the screen, the scores, it scored really well. Much like we've talked about before, we did the same journey on this that we did in the beginning advertising. We tested as an animatic. We tested it as a finished ad. In fact, one part of this journey that I haven't spoken about is we've done a screen of all the fairy tales to see which are kind of most recognizable and which most likely would increase the business, which has the most appeal. So we've kind of working our way through the top list. We also just got finished doing the, you can see it up here, lunches served ad. We just finished testing on it actually 4 days ago. So it just came out of field and the results were just presented yesterday. Isn't as strong as some of the others. One of the interesting things is the way we do the testing, we can break it down, and the ad does really well on a desktop, doesn't do well on a mobile device. Could be an issue depending on what media we put behind it. We also know that the Hansel and Gretel ad is a very strong ad with moms. especially when you see the two kids involved. So while a general pop score is not that well, the score amongst mom means we're still going to air it. It should be driving the business forward. Um, the other part of that is, you know, as I mentioned, we've done a lot of work on fairy tales. Well, we also tested, and if you saw the videos, several other fairy tales in the animatic phase, Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, um, didn't do as well, so they're not moving forward. Kind of, I don't know if you get it in the other classes, but there's, two theories on a campaign. You want to last as long as possible. You have one like Snickers, where it really talks about, you know, you do stupid stuff. You're not yourself when you're hungry. Well, that campaign's been around for several decades and probably will be around for another decade or if not more. This one, you kind of run out of fairy tales after a while. So has a much shorter shelf life than some other campaigns. So probably is only going to be around a couple more years. The other thing that's new on this journey is to further increase ROI as we're moving forward. We've done some targeting work. And usually when you think targeting, you think segmentation. And most segmentations build on people's attitudes, behaviors, and lifestyles, and you come up with these discrete segments. And we've talked about that. Did something different here. We did this one based on basically behavior towards the brand. So we segmented first passes, people who are open to the brand, 60%, 57 actually, but roughly 60% of people open the brand, really strong, tells me it's a broadly appealing brand. 17% are kind of iffy about the brand, and about 26% are just not interested in the brand whatsoever. Compare that to another brand we have, Dave's Killer Bread. About 51% of the population, it was out of reach. It's about $7 for a loaf of bread, has a lot of seeds, a lot of grain, very healthy. Not everyone's into that. The fact that we're, only about a quarter of the people aren't interested, very strong number. Again, some people just like Wonder Bread, just want plain white. Some people may want private labels, some people want Dave's, but that 57% is the number we feel really good about. It means we have a strong, broadly appealing brand with a lot more opportunity to grow. Within that percent that's open to the brand, we further segmented it into growth target. So these are the people that are either in and out of the brand, or are open to it but haven't bought it. So 45%, a strong group of people that we can target to truly grow the brand, grow that household penetration further. I mentioned household penetration is like 36%, and it's been like 32, 33, 34, 36%. But the reality is about a third of that group probably leaves every year. So while it looks like it's a core group of people that we have every year and we add a few, the reality is a lot of those people are churned. We lose a lot, gain a lot. And so growth target are made up of people who aren't in the franchise we can bring in to grow, but they're also those people that are kind of somewhat unattached, and what we can do to keep them so they're not the loss in future years. 10% is kind of committed. They're that 10% that are staying with us. And it's about 45% that are vulnerable. They're the ones that are leaving. So again, brings a few people in, keep people from leaving, should be a recipe for growth. The nice thing about doing a segmentation like this, we have a robust sample size of well over 3,000. We're able to really bring each of these segments to life. So from a demographic perspective, I can tell you the difference between the committed group, the kind of growth target, and the kind of vulnerables within. So I can profile each of them demographically. I know kind of their motivators. It's just a small sampling of the information we have, but I know what motivates them about the brand, the category, and how they differentiate from Nature's Own versus, say, a Sara Lee, a King's Hawaiian, and how they see us differently. And then I know what they're currently using. So these charts on the right are for that vulnerable group, or they're rather the growth target. Sorry about that. So the people who aren't that into the category or the brand, but we know we can bring in, their top two brands are King's Hawaiian and Wonder. Third is Sara Lee. so we know what they're using, who we can target, and what the right message is to target them. So again, journey so far, it's been successful for Nature's Own. We think we have some additional learning of late that'll keep it being successful. And again, hope you enjoyed listening to the journey. I hope this is a way that has brought the 7 weeks of learning to life a little differently than just talking about it, actually seeing it in action. And as always, if you have questions, please bring it on during the week 7 session on Monday. So again, thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. And I know we've enjoyed getting to know you guys and talking to you. So thank you very much.